Everyone, and welcome to the Week 12 review, Week 13 preview. As always, I'm your commissioner, Mr. Modest. I'm joined by Joel Gibson with the trophy over there. Hello, Joel Gibson.
Hello, Brent Morrison.
Excellent. And I want to apologize to everybody. I got my booster this week. I've been feeling like shit. So if I sound a little stuffy, that's my apologies, if you will. Now, let's get right into this, Joel Gibson, because what an exciting week we had in our first divisional week back. So many things happening, and quite frankly, I'm happy about all the situations that we're going to face moving forward. We start, as always, with the champs matchup. Joel Gibson wins at home against Matt. Despite the Klay Thompson return, who I think had like 4 shots or something like that, it's great to see him back. Honestly, I love Klay, and I'm looking it up right now. 17
and 20 minutes.
Hey, 17 and 20 minutes. He got hot the second half. I looked in and it was, hey, shout out to him. I love seeing Klay back. I love seeing Golden State basketball. Look out for them now that he's back. Dre sat out this game, but either way, like I said, we're going to focus on Matt versus Joel. Joel had a great week. 2 triple-doubles. Freddie VanVleet is an inspiration in fantasy right now.
A triple-double, his first career triple-double. He had 8 threes tonight. He gets steals all over the place. He gets blocks. He does not give up the buck. He's a top 10 player, motherfuckers. Unbelievable stuff. And you know what? Josh Giddey ain't bad either.
I agree. And let me say, I actually thought about this the other day. For me, at least right now, Freddie VanVleet took the place of Beal in that top 10 conversation. Beal kind of fell off, although he's been playing great with Dinwiddie out. They're playing Beal a little more point guard, which I really like. But Freddie VanVleet has taken over that conversation of top 10 player where Beal should be. He's taken his spot, in my opinion. That being said, congratulations to Joel Gibson. This is absolutely huge. Absolutely a huge win. He is the outright leader in the East, which leads him to that number 2 seed by himself. How is it every year I'm talking about Joel in the top 3? Somebody has to tell me how I'm still talking about this man in the top 3.
He's a goddamn fucking champion. It's January, Brandon, the month, the birthday of champions. And here I fucking am at the 2 seed once again, coming for your asses.
Absolutely. In about an hour and 8 minutes, I believe it's your birthday, my friend. So let me just say, happy birthday to you from the league. You won. It's just a great time. I want to get this out of the way. By the time we post this, it'll be right around your birthday. So definitely happy birthday to you. I hope you have a great day, honestly, and congrats on the win.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Next matchup is we are moving to Kyle at Steven. Now, Kyle ends up winning this despite Steven's promise to decimate Kyle's team. Now, this gives Kyle the outright tiebreaker over Steven, which, in my opinion at least, eliminates Steven from a top 2 seed. It's really difficult. Steven's already lost to me once. Also, even if he beats me, I have the points tiebreaker and a better conference record than Steven. So this basically eliminates Steven from a top 2 seed. He'll still make the playoffs, no doubt at all. But this loss to Kyle and his promise, he fell short. At home, losing 6-5. Kyle's starting to get healthy again despite having Anthony Davis. His team is a legitimate contender regardless of his false picks of Dinwiddie and what's that guy's name? Oh, Cole Anthony. Right. He's so insignificant, I forgot his name. Congratulations to Kyle. He holds on to that number 1 seed by a game. By a game. People are just not, just right there with him. Steven, still in the hunt, but likely not a top 2 seed this year. His team looks like a team that'll make some noise in the playoffs, though. I don't want to play him first round, that's for sure.
I'd still say he's likely a top 4 seed.
Absolutely. Next matchup, we have CJ at Mr. Modest. Mr. Modest rights the ship here at home and does so in a glorious fashion. If we look back, CJ made the comment to me earlier in the week that he did not feel that I was going to have the same kind of week that I had last week. And let me tell you, I had a very similar week to last week, and I did it without Butler. I did it without using all 7 of my ads. I did it as the way it should be at home. I right the ship against CJ after his week 1 win on a shortened week, and I'm looking healthy. Garland comes back, looks sensational halfway through the week. Even without Jimmy Butler, I added Yustafin about 2 weeks ago now. Over the last 2 weeks, I believe he is second in the league in rebounds. If Butler is out, he is the perfect complement. He is going to eat, even when Bam comes back off the bench. I love this guy. CJ, congratulations on your loss this week. I'm very excited to give that to you. As all things should be, Mr. Modest wins and looks impressive doing so.
I mean, CJ did really take it to you when it came to turnovers.
Yes, he did. Also, we got to point out that CJ added Bruce Brown for God knows what reason, the Shark, and he literally didn't play 3 of the matchups that he added him for. Like, I get it. I understand. Easily confused. Nobody knows what Steve Nash is going to do. Him starting Duke, it didn't make any sense. Unfortunate luck. Dre sat 2 games. CJ did have some problems with injury, but so did Mr. Modest, and that's been the theme this year. Who can get through in injuries? And you know who looks real good right now? Mr. Modest looks real good right now. That's all I gotta say on that one. Joel Gibson.
Yeah, I gotta say you do look pretty good, but many good teams have fallen short in this league's history.
Absolutely. Moving on to the next matchup. This one is more interesting to me than even me beating CJ. No offense to CJ. Doug loses to Cody. Cody moves to 7-5. Doug moves out of the playoff race at 5-7. We'll get into it with my rankings. But Cody just scraping by here is absolutely incredible without Paul George. Fox hasn't been great and actually sat today. I don't know what to do because Doug's been healthy. He should have won this week, in my opinion, based on the injuries, Zinger being out. I don't know what to make of it. I think Doug's way better than his record, but right now he's on the outside looking in with only 4 games to go.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he would make a dangerous 8 seed. If I had the 1 and he was the 8, I would not be happy about it.
Me neither. I am avoiding that. What I'm really worried about is like a Steven and I first round at 3-6 or 4-5. That's what I'm focused on. Kyle can have that 1 seed because I think Doug ends up as that 8 seed. We'll see how it goes, but right now, Doug's got to show up. We got to do it. Nothing else on that. Congrats to Cody for winning this for sure. Tough week for him. That's for sure, and those are the weeks you got to win. Next matchup. Go ahead.
Cody is hanging on in what should be a season of domination. He is getting by.
He is definitely getting by, and sometimes just getting into the playoffs is all you need to do. Next matchup, we've got Adam beating Phil. Not much to say here. Adam takes care of business, but he does move into that 8th spot, as I was talking about. Moving to 500 at 6-6. Incredible. Phil, if not eliminated beforehand, is now 1-11. So, is he a bye week? We'll find out. Last matchup is Eric at Neiman. I said last week that if Eric lost this matchup, we could mathematically eliminate him. I think we can do that now. Despite him having 3 wins and theoretically he could get up to 7, I don't think 7 is enough to get you into the playoffs at 7-9 this year. I just don't see it. So I'm going to assume that Eric's been eliminated. Losing Lillard is a real issue. And that's it. He's eliminated. Neiman's team looks very strong right now, though. Look out for Neiman's team. He has a tough matchup next week, but definitely a team that can upset some teams. He needs a couple upsets to get into the playoffs.
Even if he doesn't make it into the playoffs, he could shake up the seeding of the playoffs.
Absolutely. So keep setting those lineups, Neiman. Regardless, good luck to you. Now, before I get into the rankings, I just want everybody to know the trade deadline is tomorrow at noon. And I can at least say for myself, no trades are happening with Mr. Modest, at least right now. If anybody wants to come in and talk about it, like I feel like I've talked to mostly everybody that I need to talk to. But this is my one, what do I want to say? My one advertisement. If you'd like a piece of Mr. Modest, just jump in the DMs tomorrow morning or even tonight. I'll get back to you. But like I said, tomorrow's the trade deadline and we're all going to be locked up. And it's certainly going to be interesting if anything gets done moving to the trade deadline.
We'll see. It's been pretty dry out there.
Very dry. Now, getting into the rankings here, it's been pretty easy this week based on last week and everything like that. Phil is the 12 at 1-11. No kidding. The 11 is Eric at 3-9. 1 game behind Neiman. Neiman has beat Eric both times. So Eric is mathematically not eliminated, but in my mind, he's eliminated. Neiman at 4-8, 2 games out of the playoff race with 4 to go. There are situations that Neiman can get in, but he's going to need a couple big upsets. Next is Doug at 5-7 in the 9 hole. This is, for me, I'm just so confused on this. I don't know what else to say. I think Doug finds a way to sneak in, but next week is so big for Doug. Tough spot for him. Next, we've got Adam in the 8 hole at 6-6. Only 1 at 500 right now. And in that 8th spot, Adam continues to win. He beat Phil last week, so it's not like he's doing anything super impressive. But at the same time, he's in that 8th spot. Number 7, in the biggest fall in the standings, is Matt Hobert at 7-5. Now, he's one of 4 teams at 7-5. But based on all the tiebreakers, Matt has beat Steven, but has not beat Cody, has not beat CJ. So I put him at that 7 spot. He also plays Doug next week, and he's still without Bam. So I put him here. Next at 6 is CJ. CJ was the 3 last week. He lost to me. It just makes it a little bit tough. He's also playing Steven. Steven already has 1 win over CJ. So that's why I put CJ so low here. Also, Cody, who is at the 5 spot, has also beat CJ. So CJ kind of the victim of losing to everybody above him, essentially. Cody, like I said, at that 5 spot, the favorite going into this year is at that 5 spot. He's starting to climb if he could get healthy. Could be interesting. Next at 4 is Steven. Steven beat CJ. Steven also plays CJ. No, I apologize. Steven lost to Kyle. He has beaten CJ once, and he plays CJ this week. So I apologize for that little misstep. I have him at the 4 because he's already beat Cody. He's already beat CJ. He does have that loss to Matt, but based on everything, I put him at the 4 spot. Next at the 3 spot, I could not put myself any lower. I tried to put myself lower than the 3, but based on all the wins and losses, that's where I am right now. One of only 2 teams at 8 and 4. Joel Gibson, can you tell me who the other team is at 8 and 4?
At 8 and 4?
Yeah.
Let me look at the standings. God damn it. Tell me.
It's you, Joel Gibson. I thought you were fucking with me the whole time. It's Joel Gibson at number 2. I thought he was totally messing with me. He does have the tiebreaker with me. Also, he's number 1 in the East. So that puts him in one of the top 2 positions. Kyle, of course, as has been basically this whole season, is number 1. He won this week against Steven. The only person that can really upset Kyle's number 1 in the West is yours truly. That matchup, I think, is in 2 weeks. It's not next week. But like I said, he's still the number 1. Regardless of what happens, he has a better record than Joel. He deserves that number 1 spot. Joel, anything on those rankings?
Motherfuckers, I made it to the number 2 seed again. If I could just retain this shit, then you guys are in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know why we got to talk about Joel Gibson in the top 2 every single year. This is either... And based on his draft position, like, I don't know how to compute this at all. At all. Basically, our whole plan for Dynasty should just be like, Joel doesn't win. Like, that's...
Well, if I pull this off, it is the greatest feat I will have ever pulled off in this league. You guys will be lucky that we're switching formats.
No, trust me. Like I said, I was in a very similar position to you last year, and I was saying the same things. So it's going to be extremely interesting seeing the playoffs and how they shake out this year. That being said, we'll get right into Week 13. There's only 4 weeks left in the regular season. 1 month. And then the first round of the playoffs, again like last year, is the entire month of February, which is nice. I kind of like that for the first round because of the All-Star break. But with only 4 weeks to go, things are going to get real serious real quick. So if you're planning on spending that free agent money, if you're planning on getting into the playoffs, it starts today, I'll tell you that. Now, first matchup, we have Joel at Adam. Joel has been on fire. Freddie Van Fleet has been on fire. But Adam has been putting up some serious numbers. I'm interested to see if Adam can pull off yet another upset. I think if Adam wins this week, he gets into the playoffs, regardless of what happens elsewhere. So, Joel, if Doug has not been rooting against you thus far, he's really rooting against you this week. I like Joel here to beat Adam and keep that number 8 spot at least in question.
Yeah, I'm going to pick myself as well. Adam is a solid team, and Unfortunately, he's mostly healthy. John Morant, I think, just came back, but Dylan Brooks went out. Dylan Brooks is a good player, but replaceable. We'll see.
Jaw was out today. I will add that in there, but with a quad contusion. But I think he plays the next game, so I don't think you're gonna get away with Jaw being out this week.
I don't anticipate that I will, but unfortunately, he does have that home court advantage, which is going to make it tough. But I'm going to pick myself to keep this winning streak alive.
Excellent. And like I said, I'm going to pick you, and I'd just love to see the bottom. I'm trying to give Doug hope. Next matchup, Matt at Doug. Now we're getting into this here. Matt's still a little banged up. Doug really isn't. He's been healthy, not healthy. Playing Cody, I really thought Doug had a chance last week. Man, Matt has Clay returning. Matt's the away team. I am not. This one could really go either way. I don't know that I have a pick. I'm going to pick Matt. He played Joel close this week. He's healthier this coming week. Man, Doug's a tough team. It is tough. I'm going to pick Matt. Hesitantly as a motherfucker. And if anything, anytime I pick against Doug, he tends to prove me wrong. So you're welcome, Doug. I'm picking Matt.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Doug. The home court advantage being just enough for me to take him. And I think he's in a position where if he's smart, he can cycle the shit out of that. Matt's still got enough injuries to guys that he can't drop or won't drop that I think Doug is due for a bounce back. And it's going to be really interesting to see where Matt goes from being the 2 seed last week to after he loses to Doug this week, where he sits in the rankings.
Really tough, and especially with Bam out there, out for Matt, that's been huge, and it's also been huge how not great Bam has been even healthy. When he does come back, he's going to be brought on slowly anyway. Yustafin has been incredible, and I'm not just saying that as tooting my own horn for having him. I'm telling you, that man is a menace on the boards, and they're going to rely on him heavy on the bench even when Bam comes back. That being said, we get right into the matchup of the week, in my opinion. Steven at CJ. Now, when these two go up against each other, it is always seems to be the matchup of the week. I know we always talk about it, but every year it seems to be these two that come down to their matchups that have the heaviest impact on what's going to happen in the West. Regardless of what anybody else is doing, it's Steven having a huge impact, and it's CJ having a huge impact. Now, is this going to be like exactly every other season where Steven kind of knocks CJ lower on the totem pole and then he ends up a lower seed? I'm not sure. CJ has the team to compete with Steven this year, and must win this game, in my opinion. Must win this game, or is going to wind up a lower seed and then could get picked off by a higher seed. Steven already has one win this year, and I'm taking Steven again. And this is nothing against CJ. Steven, if you look at him directly compared to me this week, very close in all statistical categories. And I was enough to beat CJ this week. So I'm going with Steven to win here. Nothing personal, CJ. I like your team a lot. I just don't like it enough to beat Steven. That's it.
It's super close for me, it's very interesting with them having tied records going into this. Gobert not playing for Steven is huge. Gobert has been like a top 15 player this year.
And McCollum, right?
Yeah, he's at McCollum
Yep.
as well. And CJ has home court. LeBron and Westbrook, I think, play a little bit better without Davis. And Steven is also down Josh Hart.
Who's been very good. A great trade for Steven to acquire him, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm actually going to pick CJ with the utmost hesitance. But I am going to pick CJ. I'm not sure how many Nets away games there are this week. I know there's at least one. But if CJ can use that Kyrie spot smart and use that as a cycle spot and sit him when he's playing at home, he could have a really interesting advantage.
Yeah, I will say that as far as the Nets go, they have a 4-game week this week. CJ, if he acknowledges that Kyrie is not going to play at home games and sits him on the IR and cycles in that spot, he may be able to cycle out Steven. It by no means is a sure thing when I say Steven. I guess a little bit in my head, it's better for me if Steven does win. So I guess I'm leaning that way. Also, I just like the idea of, like I said, when you compare Steven to my score, it was very close. I was able to beat CJ. So for me, I just have to go with my gut and say Steven. But CJ is by no means out of it and loves to cycle. That's for sure.
Loves to cycle, has the home court advantage, and also has the triple-double advantage.
Absolutely. There's a lot for Steven to overcome. This, like I said, I didn't call it the matchup of the week for no reason. We're splitting hairs here for this one. Next matchup is, I'm going to say it myself, upset alert for Mr. Modest as he goes into home at Neiman. Neiman's putting up really good scores. The good part about my team is I'm a little versatile and I can cycle based on what I need. For example, I'm not going to beat Neiman in threes this week. I'm just not going to do it. But what I can beat him in is defensive stats. And you're welcome for the tip, Neiman. I can either eliminate Neiman or put him almost out of it, or he needs this matchup. So I don't know what his plans are on who's keeping or who's not keeping or anything like that. I've been saving up money and I've been saving up ads, and I can tell you that I'm going to get the players that I want this week, and I'm directly attentive to the Neiman matchup. I'm worried about an upset here. I am hesitantly picking myself. I do have one win over Neiman, so a loss here doesn't kill me one way or another. But I will say that I'd rather win this because I need the win to challenge Kyle in the West. If I lose this, Kyle basically wraps up the West. He wraps up that at least top 2 seed. I'm the only savior for the West. Believe in me, but I'm worried about the upset. I'm picking myself away.
I am going to pick you as well. I'm not as hesitant as you. I feel pretty confident.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think Neiman his record speaks to how good his team is. He's just a little shallow.
Yeah, it's tough. Like I said, it's rough. If I get Jimmy back, they have a short week. That's the thing. I'm in an interesting position if you look at my team. Now that Powell is on the COVID, I also have Maxey, who's already been ruled out for Monday. Jimmy doesn't play till Wednesday. So that little, hesitation is going to cost me 2 games because I can't make them up. So early in the week, if Neiman watches this video, he has the chance to get up on me early in the week. If I can catch up by Friday, and if I'm winning by Friday, I like my chances to win.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm picking you, dude.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Next matchup is Kyle at Eric. Eric doesn't have Lillard. Kyle's all of a sudden getting pretty healthy. Kyle wins this, right? I don't see any...
Kyle wins this. It's unfortunate that Kyle just happens to walk into Eric this week.
Absolutely. And then the next matchup is also kind of a gimme. It's Phil at Cody. I don't see any situation where Cody loses this matchup, even as injured as he is. Fox sat today, I believe, or yesterday, or whatever. He sat recently, but he's looked a lot better. If he comes back, I like Fox a lot, as you all know. I don't see any reason why Cody loses this matchup.
Cody's going to win, and he's very fortunate to have this late 2-game winning streak.
Absolutely. It's, like I said, this week, and then not the next week, but the following week, if I was looking at matchups correctly, week 15 is also extremely interesting as far as matchups go. Yeah, that's really all I have to say on this. Trade deadline's tomorrow at noon. If anybody wants to get at me or, not get at me, either way. I'd like Jimmy Butler to get healthy. That's all I got. Great week to everybody. I can't believe Joel's in the top 2 and he's above me again despite our draft positions. I don't know what to do at this point.
I don't know. I think I'd be more frustrated if I was Cody.
Yeah, me too, man. That's and no disrespect whatsoever, but I've literally been thinking this whole season, at least you're not Cody. And I don't mean that. And honestly, I don't mean it. It's just so tough, the situations he's been going through, despite his trade picks. Man, that's unfortunate.
I just think that every team that has tried to load up on early draft picks, Simmons, Cody, who else?
Yeah, I don't think CJ had a good season where he had a lot of early draft picks the one year, I think.
Blew up. They all blew up.
Yeah, it's been really rough for those that try to load up for sure.
Maybe tanking doesn't work in fantasy.
You can't say that, though, because the year before I won my championship, I tanked and then won the championship the following year. I am the only team to successfully tank and win a championship. Right now, that's all that's going to be said. That's my credentials at this point. I am the only team to have tanked and then won the following season.
Okay, Sam Presti. Wait, no, you didn't pull it off. Well, you tanked and you did something.
Right. No, like I said, that's basically my only credentials at this point. I was Rookie of the Year. I won my rookie year. And then I tanked and won a championship, despite me making playoffs quite a few years. Just saying.
I would say your other credential is that you won multiple chips, but
I'd love a third one, my friend. I would love a third one.
yeah, I would love a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would love a 6.
I don't need you being Tom Brady. I don't need it. I don't want it. I just don't need it. So we're going to wrap this one up. We're going on 35 minutes. What a long one. Last week we couldn't shut up. We had to shoot 3 different times. This week we're getting it on the first one and we go 35 minutes.
Fuck it, dude. And I don't give a shit.
Yeah, you all just listen to our shit. All right, guys. Good luck. Happy New Year to everybody. 2022 is here. Good luck to everybody this week. And truly, I hope you guys all have a great 2022.
Oh, yeah?
Later.